What's going on again? It's me. It's Britt. Yep, the guy who's doing pointless reviews. This is mainly for entertainment purposes. You guys can take what you want out of it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This thing behind me is my 2014 F150. If you've seen my last video, it was on a 2021 Ram 2500, which I did nothing but complain about because I'm good at it. Yeah. No, seriously. Clearly, I like this truck. Obviously, if I own it, I don't hate it. So we'll do a quick walk around and I'll give you some specs on the truck. Here you go. Obviously, it's red. A couple things about the truck. I did change the tires to a BFG All-Terrain KO2s with load range ease. I do tow with this truck, which is one of the big reasons why I did that. In case you're wondering, that gets towed a lot. And before you ask, yes, there's a car in it. The truck is basically bone stock. I don't have a lot done to it, other than obviously I changed the tires to something that's a little bit better for towing heavy-ish stuff on regular passenger tires. Not my cup of tea. Not really a fan of that. So about the truck, it has a 5.0 Coyote motor in it. I did put airbags on the back because I do tow with it. As you can see, yeah. I do have an onboard compressor. The truck's pretty much a kind of a base model. Nothing spectacular. Somebody did put leather seats in it. That's how I bought it. Doesn't really have a lot going on. It has 90,000 miles on it. Like I said, I did put an onboard compressor, which I tucked into the center console. Right there. You can see it. You can see a dirty engine bay. This truck gets used. It is a 5.0 Coyote motor. Nothing done to it. Not even an intake for now. This truck does have a factory trailer brake, which is actually one of the big reasons I bought it. Hopefully you can see it. A couple of my favorite features about this truck, other than it stores my crap, is actually this back floor. Guys, a lot of you probably won't notice when you have any regular trucks, but your back floor always has a hump right here, and rightfully so. This one kind of has one right here. I don't know if you can see it because of the black carpet. I love how they keep the floors flat. Also the same thing when you lift the seat up, when there isn't a bunch of crap underneath it, the floor is flat. It's probably one of my favorite all-time features about these trucks. This is the second one I've owned. I had a 2016 with a 3.5 EcoBoost. More about the truck. Things I hate, we'll go with that. Not a fan of that radio. It works just fine. It does glitch on occasion. But a lot of the newer vehicles in today's world, they do glitch. There's a lot of technology in cars nowadays. Obviously, Teslas are a given, which I know somebody who has one. If she lets me do a review on it, hopefully I'll do one. If she lets me. It's my little sister. She loves that car with a passion. She actually drove cross country in it. I was actually kind of impressed with that. Cross country in a Tesla, and I do mean cross country. She went from Florida, Colorado's where she moved, so they drove all around Colorado. They were in California, and then California, Colorado, and then they moved back here, and she didn't have it trailered. She drove it the whole time. I was super impressed, and that's right, it's on camera. So that was I was in shock about it. Anyways, off of that rant, about this one, I'm going to get in and start it. It's Florida, it's hot. I'm doing this on one of my days off because I hurt my back. So if I groan getting in the truck, just get over it. So yeah, short intro about the truck. I'll go through the specs real quick. It's a 5.0. It's a 2014 with a 5.0, so it's got like 360 horse, 380, I could be wrong, on torque. Nothing spectacular. It has 355 rear gears, 4-wheel disc brakes, 2-wheel drive with a rear locker, obviously a trailer brake, Bluetooth radio, but it's a base model. AC, heat, it's got a rear defrost. It does not have the tow mirrors. I wish it did, but it does not. That is something on the list of stuff that I want to buy. Like I said, I did put I put a tuner on it, which is the Edge CS2. Well worth the money. I recommend it strongly. I put BFG KO2s on it with load range ease, and that was mainly because I wanted an all-terrain, because I do take it off-road, but I don't take it off-road that I need 4-wheel drive. But I would have 4-wheel drive if I could afford it. Trying to think what else there is. It does have that stupid rear 2-piece drive shaft, which I wish it didn't have, because I do kind of have that driveline clunk, which nobody notices but me, mainly because I'm a mechanic and I've been dealing with it all my life. AC works as it should, surprisingly enough. It is a crew cab. It is a short box with a 5.5 foot bed. I wish it was a long box, but also, once again, driving a long box with a crew cab is like driving a damn school bus. So that's kind of a bear. I'm kind of glad that I have the 5.5 foot bed. Everything works in this truck. Everything. I didn't have to fix a lot when I got it. Oh, hey, I lied. I'm sorry. My tire pressure sensors don't work. I think it's just one. It's the left front that is bad, and I'll fix it eventually, but it's not really a priority. Moving on. Trying to think of everything. Though it's got 90,000 miles on it. It had 77 on it when I bought it. I've owned it for roughly 4 months. Let me think. What else? Trying to think of all the features, because I tend to go on a rant. It does have max tow. Like I said, I do pull a 20-foot enclosed trailer. The 20-foot enclosed trailer weighs 2750 by itself. And I have pulled a lot of it, so I'm not scared to pull it. It is kind of a bear on a half-ton pickup. You do get a lot of sway, and I do not have the sway bar on my hitch. I have the option for it. I haven't put it on. If I towed that trailer regularly, I would put it on, but I don't. I tow it once every 3 or 4 months, so I don't bother putting that, because when I tow it, it's not really long distance. I did do that once with my 2016, and that was not one of my more favorite moments. That's when I actually bought the weight distribution hitch, which I have now. But I don't use it on this. I don't use the distributing part. I just use the hitch part, because I put bags on this truck. I learned very quickly, if you have a half-ton pickup that you tow heavy stuff intermittently, putting bags on the back is a super great thing. I actually learned that on the Excursion. And yes, the Excursion is a 3/4 ton technically, but the Excursion on the back is, they're meant for comfort. They weren't built for towing. So I learned real quick how nice those were. Plus, when you're loading and unloading the trailer, it's kind of nice to come in here, push a button, the truck drops down. It's great. Plus, also, when you're backing up, it's great because you can lift the trailer up to pick up the trailer, or lift the truck up to pick up the trailer, especially if you have a backup camera like this does. So you can actually watch it go click, and then and then you just, it's just easier. I recommend having bags on the back of any pickup. It's super nice. If I could have bags all the way around, I would, but that's money. And fabricating, because this has to be 4-linked in the back, and I'm not doing that to this truck. At least, not currently. So. Power outlets. This thing has a lot of them. There's one there. There's one there. And if I remember correctly, there's one back here as well, on the back of the center console. Which is actually super nice. Plus it has USB. As I drop the camera, it has USB right there. Has line in, which this is kind of obsolete anymore because of Bluetooth music. This is nice, but you can't really use it for charging. It charges at like 2 amps or something like that, so your phone really doesn't charge very fast. It's kind of annoying, so I don't use that. I use the power outlet up there. Oh, I like this. I like how these turn. These do turn all the way around, and they're fully adjustable. Probably one of my favorite AC features, and that's an unusual one. Because a lot of people are going to be like, well, what does that matter? Let me tell you, when you can direct that airflow anywhere you want, that is amazing. Because most of the time, it's just a regular blocky AC vent, and it can only side to side. And it can go up and down a little bit, but... So, yeah. I don't like that this shifter. I prefer it to be a column shift, or not a column, a center console shift. But once again, this is what was available, so I just deal with it. It does have tow haul mode, which is nice because it also, when you turn that on, it changes the shift points on the trans. So when you go to accelerate, it keeps it more in the power band, and when you go to decelerate, it actually downshifts. One of my other favorite things about these trucks is that right there. So I don't think you can see it. No, not unless I put it in gear. But this is nice because you can take a gear away when you put it in gear. I'll see if I can't show you that. When you put it in gear, so yeah, when you put it in gear, you can see it shows all 6 gears. So if you push the button, you can see it starts eliminating the gears. And you can add them back when you hit plus. Then you go, Britt, why is that useful? Well, let me tell you something. When you are pulling a heavier load, such as my enclosed or the trailer with a bunch of weight on it, 6 gear in this truck is a very tall gear, which I'm not complaining because it does great on the highway. But I like the fact that I can take 6 gear away, so I leave it. I actually, most of the time, take 6 gear away in the truck and I leave it in 5th. This is obviously only a 6-speed transmission, but I leave it in 5th. And it's not terrible. Like at 75 miles an hour, I think I'm at 2,100 RPMs or 2,200 RPMs. It's not a lot. It's just enough so that way I can accelerate when I need to without having to wait for the trans to downshift. And in case you're wondering, even pulling that heavy stuff, it will go into 6 gear and it will stay there. It doesn't click in and out. It just, it does it. Like I said, I'm not pulling a ton of weight. I'm not like 10,000 pounds. You know, most of the time I'm between 4 and 6, so not a ton of weight. And I get that. It does have a trans temp gauge on the dash, which is nice. I can select it to actually see the trans temp, so that's actually also super nice. Absolutely, like I said, I love this truck. It's super comfortable. It rides really nice. Even pulling my trailer with the bags, it actually rides really nice. Because most of the time when you are making it more stiff, but you are putting weight on it. So absolutely love that. That's why I did it, because it wasn't cheap. What else is there? I think that's it. I'm gonna cut this here. I'm hoping to have this video between 15 and 20 minutes, a little bit longer, because I know this truck. The Ram I didn't know all the specs on, but I didn't care to because I don't want the thing. I was just super unhappy with that truck. Like I said, if I was pulling heavier stuff, maybe I'd look into it a little bit more, but I really, to be honest, if I'm gonna buy a 3/4 ton again and I have an option, like as in budgets and what's available, I'm gonna buy a diesel. The gas was just awful in my opinion, but that was, once again, that was a Dodge with a 6.4. I'd really be curious to try the new 7.3 gas motor that Ford has. I know that the gas mileage on it isn't that great. It's supposed to be pretty comparative with the Ram, but the specs are supposed to be better. I did look up the specs on the Ram for horsepower torque. It was 410 horsepower, 460 torque, which is why I was really disappointed that it really didn't pull all that well. I do tow with it quite a bit, hence the airbags and the onboard compressor, which if you're gonna put a compressor in your truck, I put mine under the back seat. It's kind of annoying because when you push the button to pump it up, you get, but at the same time, you know, it only lasts for about 30 seconds whenever you pump it up, and it goes from 0 to 60 pretty quick. I think in about 2 minutes, so it's not a big deal. But towing, anyways, back to that. After I close the door. I think you can see that. You should be able to see I get 12.9. That is pulling the same thing that was on the Ram that I did the video on. That was pulling a 20-foot trailer that weighs 1950 with my side-by-side that weighs around 1,400 pounds. So it's like 3,500 pounds I was pulling. Not anything spectacular, not really that heavy, but the Ram was getting like 10. Now, on a side note, because I didn't mention it in the last video and I should have, I get 3/4 tons. So there's a max that I will pull with my 1/2 ton, mainly because of weight. A 3/4 ton does way more, and I don't know if you're familiar, but most of the time a towing rating is based on what a vehicle can stop safely. Obviously a 3/4 ton's heavier, 1/2 ton's lighter, hence 1/2 ton, 3/4 ton. There's probably more to that math. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go through the specs on that. It's just above me. I'm not doing this for a professional review. I'm doing this for a consumer review of somebody who has had access to both vehicles. if I had access to a 1-ton truck, I would do a review on it as well. Now, I do get a 3/4 ton truck, can pull heavier stuff. I don't need a 3/4 ton truck. I don't pull anything typically over 7,000 pounds on a regular basis. Most of the stuff I'm between 4 and 6, so that's the reason I bought a 1/2 ton, not really a 3/4 ton, and also my budget, because a 3/4 ton and a 1-ton trucks, they're expensive. Rightfully so, they're workhorses. So, yep, back to the F-150. A couple things, or one thing that I have done is I did put a tuner on it recently. This is the Edge CS2. It's small. Like, if I had, oh, here, you know what? I got a phone that everybody knows. It's an iPhone 13 or 12, whatever. It's an iPhone. It's not the big phone. So to give you an idea, that's the comparison side by side. So when I first got the Edge CS2 also, it's small. But I was like, ah, crap, I don't like this. I do like it. You can see everything just fine. I can see what I need to see on it without even struggling. I don't have to squint in and like that, and my vision's not perfect, but, you know, whatever. Moving on. So I did put the tuner on the truck. Did it make a difference? Yes. People are going to be asking, I'm sure, of course, well, if you look up the ratings on that, it's only gains like 9 horsepower and 16 foot-pounds of torque, so how can you feel that? Torque curve. This added a lot of lower end grunt that I was missing. The truck pulled just fine, it didn't struggle like that, but I just wanted a little bit more out of the hole, and that solved that problem. I am going to be doing some upgrades to the truck, not because I don't like the performance of the truck. I really want to put a Boss 302 Mustang intake on top of it. I like the way it looks. It's the only reason I want to do it. It's kind of a nice thing when you open the hood and see it says Boss 302. Yep. So that's going to happen. Plus, you can get more power out of it. Been doing a lot of reading on it because I'm very curious on it. But you do have to get the truck retuned, so you have to get a custom tune, data logging, yada yada, so on and so forth. Not a big deal. Looking forward to it. However, I literally just bought that. So I bought it like a week ago. The budget has to allow buying said Boss 302 intake, and then I have to find time to put Boss 302 intake on my truck, which I am a small business owner, and I'm not complaining a lot. It's just I normally don't get a lot of time to work on my own stuff, which I'm, once again, not complaining, because that means if I'm not working on my own stuff, it means I'm making money. So I'm happy about that. Let's see, what else is there? Mine does have the power back window, which hopefully you can see, which, by the way, I don't ever use, but it's kind of a cool feature. Mainly in the winter, I'll probably use it. One thing I am absolutely in love with, I love sunglasses. I have several pairs. So there's a holder here and one back here. This is a really nice feature. I really, really like this. I'm sure not all of them come with it, but mine does, and I love it. The other thing I really like is the center console. It's deep. It's not like, it's way down there, which I'm super happy about. AC controls, trailer brake works great. Mine has a locker. It's not 4-wheel drive, it's only 2-wheel drive, which this has come in handy. Once again, if you saw my last video on 4-wheel drives, the budget didn't allow it. It's pretty cut and dry. I would have liked to have a 4-wheel drive truck, but realistically, I can count on the number on one hand, and the number of times in my life I've needed 4-wheel drive. Yep. Other than a play, and that, like, I don't want to do that anymore, because I have a side-by-side, which there is a video up of us going to play with the side-by-side, but there's no video of mine. It's mainly just my my buddy's CF Moto 9, or CF Moto, and it's got a 950 in it. Anyways, you can watch that video if you'd like. I'm going to talk to him about doing a walk-around video on it, see if he's interested in doing that. I do this stuff for entertainment portions, nothing else. Like, don't go, hey, I'm gonna go buy an F-150 because Britt told me to. No, don't do that. Go buy an F-150 because you want one and you've done your research. F-150s are good trucks overall. I know they get, for a long time, that 5.4 3-valve garbage. Ford, I don't know what you were thinking. You can't give me one of those trucks. They are awful motors. Just awful. Like, when they break, they're super expensive. They don't make a ton of power. People who own them, like, you know the spark plug issue, which, if you don't know the spark plug issue, good luck getting them out, because they always break, because it's a horrible 3-piece design. Yes, I know you can get the updated ones, X all that. rant over on the 543 valve because that can go for hours. I hate that motor. This thing, I really like it. Has a regular key. It is a 2014, so this is made in 2022, so the truck's 8 years old. Red is also not my favorite color. Well, why'd you buy a red truck? Well, guess what? Options. I didn't have a lot. I don't know, in today's world, which you can see that when this video is made, truck prices are stupid. I looked at so many trucks because it was like, well, I gotta look at a certain price range right now. Man, that was rough. Like you're looking at trucks that have well over 100,000 miles on it. They're going between 20 and 30 grand. It's like, nope, that's a lot of money for I mean, look, it's a truck. It gets used as a truck, kind of like mine gets used as a truck. Yeah, rants, good at them. Back to the truck. When I got the truck, the speakers blown. I had to replace them. Once again, not surprising, 8 years old, and people are not always the nicest. I listen to loud music, so I changed it to ones that I don't remember what it was. They're a nicer speaker. I got them from a friend of mine, but they sounded like garbage. Not that these radios sound the greatest anyways, but they're okay. It all depends on how picky you are about music. Bluetooth works just fine. It's one of my favorite features, but most of the newer vehicles have that, just because I am constantly driving. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm probably a quarter of the day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but do the math. I'm on the road, either driving to pick up parts, driving to pick up a car, or whatever. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised at the gas mileage this thing gets, to be honest with you, because it's only a 26-gallon tank. I absolutely hate gas prices right now. When I have a 26-gallon tank and it costs me like $127 to $130 to fill it, before you ask, yes, I run premium. That's a whole personal preference. People who know about cars know what spark knock is. I don't know what my luck is, but every single time I own a vehicle that can take cheaper fuel, I put cheaper fuel in it and I end up with spark knock. Why? No clue. Also, everybody who knows me knows I maintain my vehicles. Everybody knows I like to keep them nice. I like to make sure that they're very well taken care of. My dad will say it. My wife will say it. Yeah, and my dad says it, and that's really impressive because I didn't get my maintaining of vehicles from him. That's for sure. But he's one of those people, he wouldn't do nothing to a car for 10 years, and that thing would just keep running. I don't get it. But every one of his vehicles have been that way. Every single one of them. As long as I've been alive, every single car like that, he's had that. I don't know why. I'm not saying do that, because that's a bad idea. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't know any better when I was younger, so whatever. This truck has been super reliable so far. I mean, granted, it has 90,000 miles on it, but I bought it with 77 on it. And I've used it. It's towed all the way up to Missouri, which is where my wife is from. I had a side-by-side and a Nissan Versa on my trailer. Not a stupid amount of weight, but considerable, you know, that's a long haul. It was 1,200 miles one direction. I don't consider that a lot, but it's enough. Actually didn't do bad on fuel. Once again, kind of surprised. I was expecting to be in the single digits. No, I think I was getting 10.5, which that's not good, but that was pulling a decent amount of weight side-by-side in the car. So coming back from Missouri, I had my side-by-side, obviously. The Versa went up there to I would call her my niece. On the trailer on the way back, I had what they call a high tunnel or a greenhouse. It weighed 4,500 pounds. So I had 4,500 pounds, my side-by-side, in the trailer, all behind this truck, getting 11.5 miles per gallon, doing 65, 70 miles an hour. Not complaining. Like, that's not bad at all. It didn't struggle except for one hill. It was like a 20 to 25% grade for a mile going uphill. I didn't like it. I literally watched the gears on my truck go 6th, 5th, 4th, 3, and by the end of the hill I was at 2. Now you're gonna ask about trans temps. I monitor my trans temps because that's the health of the, you know, how bad you're pushing it. So what were they? On that 1 mile, 20% grade, it went from 203, which is normal on these trucks before anybody says anything. They're normally around 200 degrees. I went from 203 by the top of the hill. I was at 210, and that was a hard pull. I was doing 45, 50 miles an hour in second gear going up the hill. So you can imagine the truck was working. The rest of the trip went fine. My trans temps never went over 207, which 203 is normal, 207, 4 degrees. Pulling all that weight, I am not gonna say a word. That's fine. This truck does have max tow, so it does have a bigger trans cooler. I don't know why it's 200 degrees, but like my 16 was the same way, and it had max tow. It was 200 degrees. So, and then my, I call him my brother-in-law, because it's my little sister's boyfriend, whatever. His usually runs in the 200 degrees, so it's just the way it is. I don't like that. I wish they were colder, but it's the way they're designed. And, you know, it is what it is. I also know this particular truck. I don't know if this truck had the recall or was a part of the recall. There was a recall on the transmissions for the casing giving it improper grounds and getting weird shifts. I am fortunate enough. I'm guessing this truck wasn't a part of it or got fixed because I'm not having that problem yet. But you know, 77,000, 90,000, I'm assuming that would have arose by now. So yeah. Trying to think of what other stuff about the truck. It does have steering wheel controls, which are super nice. They all work. This truck is actually in really good shape overall for being a 2014. It has a couple dings in it. One on the right rear. It's got one on the door now that's getting fixed. So it's just been used. It's got a topper on it, which not a fan of toppers. It was on the truck when I got it. It's gonna stay on the truck. Mainly because I like having it. I'd much rather have a tri-fold one that's 3-folding or one that rolls up. This is a solid one, so it's kind of annoying because you can't put stuff in the front of the bed, and if you do, you have to climb into the bed. The other problem I noticed with having a topper is I'm guessing there's some kind of like wind circulation thing that happens. No science that, not this guy. Because I get a lot of dust in there, and I do mean a lot. When we were up visiting family in Missouri, I was going up and down dirt roads. The amount of stuff that accumulated and dirt accumulated in that bed was insanity. But it kept it dry, even in the rain and all that kind of stuff, which was kind of nice because I had tools and stuff in the bed. Anybody who knows me when I go visit family up north, basically my whole toolbox gets packed because family and mechanic. You people can sympathize on that. And I'm not complaining a lot. That's my family. I married into that. They're all great people. I love them all to death. Same thing with my family. Even though we all hate each other from time to time, we all love each other. Once again, good at rants. About the truck. I think I got it all. I think. Ride quality, by the way, in this truck, amazing. Even after putting the bags on the back, loved it. My wife and I both love this truck. Obviously, I own it, but I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. I did have a 16, so I was I know I was going backwards, but once again, it's what I could get. Before you ask, well, why'd you buy a new truck at this time? Well, I had a 2001 Excursion, that with a 7.3. Yeah, that was a great truck. It was super reliable. The thing literally had 500,000 miles on it. It leaked oil, and I get mechanic, you should fix it. What was leaking on it was the high pressure oil pump. I didn't feel like fixing it. And the truck had 500,000 miles on it, and I do a lot of driving, so there was a lot of reliability questions. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you could go through and you could have a perfectly reliable truck up to 1,000,000 miles. However, at some point, the alternator is going to fail on you, and you're going to be stuck on the side of the road. Things are going to fail that don't normally fail because there's so many miles on the truck. And it was just, I felt like it was a need for somebody else, and I needed to have something that I could jump in and not have to worry about breaking down. Now, that truck only left me stranded once. I blew a high pressure oil line, and thankfully enough, I wasn't far from my shop when it happened. And I had to have a Dodge Ram 1500 pull me back. Cue Ryan if he watches this video. Hey, that's the other thing. None of my friends gave me a hard time about the last video. Are y'all feeling all right? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're my friends. I give you guys a hard time. You give me a hard time. It's the way it works. So I'm gonna give you all a challenge. Anybody who watches this video, down in the comments, I know you all know Ford jokes. Let's be real. Drop it down below. I'm gonna laugh at them. You're gonna laugh at them. Now the next one, you know, I'm gonna do a Chevrolet eventually at some point, mainly because I own a Chevrolet Cavalier race car, and I use the word race car loosely. That car beat to death. But we'll go ahead and do one on that. That's not gonna take long because it's got nothing left on it. quite possibly. That's what's in that white trailer. That car has had, I think, 6 engines put in it. They're used, they're not new. But it's been, that car has chewed up some engines. The engines in it now has been the one that's lasted the longest so far. Not a whole lot of runtime on it since I got it, since I put that engine in it. But that's because I do a lot of other racing, which if you've watched this channel, you know. No? Let me know down below also, you can, in the comments, hey, you know, you're doing great. Hey, you're an idiot. Hey, why don't you do this differently? And I'll listen. As long as my wife isn't saying it. Because wife. Yep. If you guys like this, you know, by all means, let me know. I do have a Fiesta ST that I'm going to be doing next. It's, if you badmouth that car, we're going to have issues. I really like that car. That car is probably one of my all-time favorites. It ranks up there with an Audi Coupe that I used to have, which I wish I had never got rid of, but that was a much-needed life decision. The Fiesta ST next. That one I'll probably actually do some driving videos and stuff on, because that one's got stuff done to it. It's got a tune in it, it's got an intake, it's got an exhaust. It's got, of course, a blow-off valve because turbo. So that one's super fun to actually listen driving by. My F-150's bone stock, other than the tuner, so it's like you just can't hear anything. Sure, this is pretty cut, dry, simple. I absolutely love my F-150. I enjoy driving it. I enjoy taking it wherever I need to go. I don't hesitate. It's actually super comfortable to have 4 people in it. It pulls really well. I wish it was a little bit better, to be honest, but you know, it is a 5.0 gas motor. I think it's 360 horse is what they advertise it as, which, I mean, it's enough. And actually in a few months, I do have it slated to pull my side-by-side, a race car, along with all my tools, all the way up to Kentucky for a Lemons race, which I'm gonna do a video on it this year. We did it a couple years ago, and I wasn't doing the video things, but I'm going to do videos on it. Because that Lemons is a lot of fun. If you ever get a chance to race in a Lemons race, there we go. I recommend doing it if you're a racer. It's super fun. The people who run it are actually super chill. It's the only racing I've ever been a part of that when the race ends, 10 minutes later, there's beer coming into the pits. So that's funny to me. And they are very strict though during racing. No alcohol is be anywhere in the general area. They are very strict about that. It's just kind of nice at the end of the day that you can sit, hang out with your friends by your car in a racing environment and have a few beers. I have a very, very good racing group. So yeah, F-150. I like it. I don't want to get rid of it, obviously. I highly recommend buying one. They're super comfortable, super affordable trucks. They do obviously last a long time. F-150 has been one of the top selling trucks for as long as I can remember. Hopefully the audio didn't screw up on this, because if it did, I'm gonna be pissed. Take my reviews of what they are. They're meant for mainly entertainment purposes, even though they can be kind of boring and I go on a rant, but whatever. Don't go out and buy one just because I told you to. I have no problems offering advice on them. I just know comparatively, Chevrolets do okay, Dodges do okay. My brother has a 2013 Ram, which has actually been really good to him. And I don't really have a problem. His is a 1500 with a Hemi though, and it's a 2013. His has less miles on it than mine does, because he was in the Air Force, and I had to babysit that truck for a couple of years, and it really didn't move, because I didn't want to drive his stuff. I did that before and felt terrible about it, so I don't even want to go down that road ever again. So I told him whenever, anyways, back to this F-150. Yep. I think that's all I got. Any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. See you, bye.